Imagine working your entire life, diligently contributing to a system designed to protect your golden years, only to reach retirement and feel like the very foundation you built your future upon is crumbling beneath your feet, leaving you with a profound sense of betrayal, even outright theft. That's precisely the sentiment echoing across America today, as older Americans voice their outrage over Social Security changes that they argue are systematically eroding their hard-earned benefits. This isn't just about financial numbers on a statement. It's about a broken promise, a shattered trust, and the very real struggle to maintain dignity and a basic standard of living in their twilight years. The feeling isn't that the government is just making adjustments. It's that the system is taking away what was rightfully theirs, what they paid into for decades. Before we dive deeper into the heart of this storm, I want to hear from you. How old are you and where are you tuning in from? Drop your age and state in the comments below. And while you're there, please let us know. Do you find this topic important and engaging? Comment 1. If you're invested in understanding these Social Security changes. Or 2. If you feel it's less relevant to you. Your feedback is invaluable and helps us tailor our content to what you want to see and ensures we continue to bring you the most critical discussions. Now, let's unpack this intense feeling of theft. For many seniors, Social Security isn't just a government program. It's an earned benefit, a contractual agreement forged over a lifetime of contributions. From their very first paycheck, a portion of their earnings was systematically deducted, specifically earmarked for their future retirement, disability, or survivor benefits. They paid into it year after year, with the implicit understanding that when their time came, that money, or at least the value it represented, would be there for them. This wasn't charity. It was an investment, a forced savings plan designed to provide a safety net. So, when changes occur that reduce the purchasing power of those benefits, or when discussions arise about cutting benefits or raising eligibility ages, it hits a raw nerve. It feels like the goalposts are being moved after the game has already been played, like the rules are being changed retrospectively, robbing them of the security they work so hard to build. One of the most significant contributors to this feeling of theft is the relentless march of inflation, coupled with what many perceive as inadequate cost of living adjustments or COLAs. While Social Security benefits do adjust annually to account for inflation, the formula used, primarily the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, CPIW, is often criticized for not accurately reflecting the actual expenses faced by seniors. Older Americans tend to spend a larger proportion of their income on healthcare and housing, categories that have seen some of the steepest price increases in recent years. The CPIW, however, gives more weight to categories like transportation and apparel, which may not be as significant for a typical retiree. The result: while benefits may increase by, say, 3% or 4%, their actual cost of living, the price of their medications, their doctor's visits, their groceries, their rent or property taxes, might be skyrocketing by 8% or 10%. This creates a widening gap, effectively diminishing their purchasing power each year. It's a silent, insidious form of theft, where the numerical value of their check might go up, but its real-world value, its ability to cover their essential needs, is steadily shrinking. They're getting the same number of dollars, but those dollars buy less and less, leaving them financially poorer through no fault of their own. Then there's the issue of taxation of Social Security benefits, a change that began incrementally in the 1980s and was expanded in the 1990s. For many retirees, particularly those with modest additional income from pensions, IRAs, or part-time work, a portion of their Social Security benefits becomes taxable. For someone who paid taxes on their earnings before they went into Social Security, and now they're paying taxes again on the benefits derived from those earnings, it feels like double taxation, a direct confiscation of their rightfully accumulated funds. They see it as the government taking yet another bite out of money that was supposed to be theirs, free and clear, after a lifetime of paying into the system. This perception is further exacerbated by the fact that the income thresholds for this taxation have not been adjusted for inflation since they were first introduced. What was once intended to affect only higher-income retirees now increasingly impacts middle-income seniors, dragging more and more people into the net of double taxation as their other income sources, like modest pensions, remain stagnant or increase slowly. It's a stealth tax increase that chips away at the already tight budgets of millions. Adding to this financial pressure cooker are Medicare premiums, which are often deducted directly from Social Security checks before the beneficiary even sees the money. As healthcare costs continue their relentless ascent, so too do Medicare Part B and Part D premiums. For many seniors, these deductions are significant, sometimes consuming a substantial chunk of their monthly Social Security income. While Medicare is a vital program, the ever-increasing cost of premiums, particularly for those on fixed incomes, feels like a constant drain that reduces the net Social Security benefit received. It's a cruel irony. The older you get, the more you typically need healthcare, and the more that healthcare costs eat into the very benefits designed to support you. This feels like another layer of financial subtraction, another invisible hand reaching into their pockets, further diminishing the security they expected. The constant political rhetoric surrounding the Social Security Trust Fund and its projected depletion adds a layer of anxiety that feels like a precursor to further theft. News reports frequently highlight that the Social Security Trust Fund is projected to be unable to pay 100% of promised benefits by the mid-2030s if no action is taken. While this doesn't mean the system will completely collapse, it does imply a potential for across-the-board benefit cuts of around 20 to 25%. For seniors who vividly remember paying into the system with promises of guaranteed benefits, this news is terrifying. It fuels the fear that the money they contributed is not actually safe, but is rather vulnerable to political maneuvering or outright reduction. Many feel that the government has mismanaged these funds, or worse, borrowed from them without a clear plan for repayment, leading to the current precarious situation. This narrative, whether fully understood or not, contributes profoundly to the feeling that their future financial security is being stolen or jeopardized by forces beyond their control. Furthermore, proposals floated by various political factions, such as raising the full retirement age even further, means testing benefits, reducing them for wealthier retirees, or altering the COLA formula, contribute to the feeling of constant assault on their earned benefits. While these proposals are often presented as necessary reforms to ensure the long-term solvency of the system, to older Americans, they represent a moving of the goalposts, a further erosion of the original deal. Raising the full retirement age, for instance, might be seen as a necessity for future generations, but for those already retired or nearing retirement, it feels like a retroactive punishment, forcing them to work longer or accept reduced benefits for a system they've already fully contributed to. Means testing, while seemingly fair to some, is viewed by others as a fundamental breach of the earned benefit principle, where every dollar contributed was supposed to yield a predictable return, regardless of other assets. It introduces a sense of uncertainty and vulnerability that contradicts the bedrock promise of Social Security. The core of the outrage, the deepest root of the feeling of theft, lies in the fundamental difference between how seniors view Social Security and how some policymakers or younger generations might perceive it. For seniors, it's not welfare. It's a pension, an insurance policy they paid into. They often use analogies of a savings account, a contractual obligation. They remember a time when Social Security was sacrosanct, when it was the bedrock of retirement for millions. Now they see it constantly under scrutiny, constantly being debated, and constantly being chipped away at by inflation, taxes, and premiums. They see their purchasing power decline, their future uncertain, and their dignity threatened. This isn't just about losing a few dollars. It's about losing the security they worked for, the peace of mind they were promised, and the ability to live out their golden years with a measure of comfort. It forces them to make impossible choices, between paying for life-saving medication or putting food on the table, between heating their homes or repairing a leaky roof. These aren't abstract policy debates. These are real-life, heartbreaking dilemmas forced upon a generation that built this country. The political gridlock in Washington only amplifies this frustration and the feeling of helplessness. Social Security has long been dubbed the third rail of American politics, meaning any politician who dares to touch it risks immediate political demise. This fear has often led to inaction, with both parties reluctant to propose comprehensive, long-term solutions that might be unpopular. While the system's long-term solvency issues are well documented, actual legislative fixes often fall prey to partisan squabbling and short-term electoral cycles. This inaction, for older Americans, feels like a betrayal. They see politicians bickering while their financial stability erodes, leading to a deep cynicism and a feeling that their well-being is being sacrificed at the altar of political expediency. They paid in good faith, and they expect their elected officials to act in good faith to protect what they've earned, not to let it wither away through neglect or indecision. In conclusion, the outrage among older Americans regarding Social Security isn't a simple complaint. It's a visceral reaction to a perceived breach of trust, an erosion of an earned benefit that feels, to them, like a systematic form of theft. It's the silent theft of purchasing power through inadequate COLAs, the overt theft through double taxation, the indirect theft via rising Medicare premiums, and the existential threat posed by an uncertain future and political inaction. It's the feeling that after a lifetime of contributions, the system they built is failing them, leaving them vulnerable and betrayed. This isn't just about policy. It's about the very core of financial dignity and security for an entire generation. Their voices are loud because the stakes are incredibly high, demanding not just attention, but real, sustainable solutions that honor the promises made and restore faith in a system that is vital for millions of American families. If this discussion resonated with you, if you believe in the importance of securing the financial future for all Americans, especially those who've worked a lifetime, please take a moment to hit that like button. Share this video with your friends and family. Let's get more voices into this crucial conversation. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the issues that matter most to your financial well-being. Your engagement truly makes a difference.